Hey friends, Carrington here from Firm Foundation Family Services. This video is for the ladies out there, which is probably most of my audience anyway, realistically. But I just want to have a frank, brief conversation about romance novels, which really is a euphemism because these days it's more about spicy romance, sometimes called smut. These books that have explicit sexual content that are written and designed to titillate, to tantalize, to sort of feed and foster our sexual desires, and honestly to arouse the reader in a sexual way. Let me just say, it's better for you to put the book down. Um, Two things that I hear with some the arguments for, like, what's the big deal, that really don't carry a lot of water, but I want to address them. One is, well, I'm reading, and so that's a good thing. Let me just put that myth to rest. There's a lot of garbage out there that we can read that doesn't make it good just because we're literate. So, do I think literacy is important? Absolutely. Does that mean that all reading material is edifying and appropriate and good for the maturing of the mind? Absolutely not. So let's be honest with ourselves and recognize that when we're reading smut, when we're reading things that are designed to and very effective at taking us into fantasy worlds where we sort of fulfill in our minds these sexual fantasies, and honestly, let's say maybe in real life we're fulfilling some sexual fantasies. Um, I'm calling foul. It's not good. Put the book down. The other thing I want to address is the idea that it doesn't harm anybody if we engage in a book. If we're reading a book, what's the big deal? It's not hurting anyone. I would call foul on that as well. It's harming you, or it's harming the reader. When we fill our minds with garbage, it's not good for us. When we fill our minds with unrealistic expectations, it's not good for us. It's not good for our marriages when we seek to fulfill, whether in our minds or in our bodies, sexual interests or arousal outside of the marriage, the bonds of marriage. That's not good. Um, it may foster secrecy if if we're engaging with this material, and we don't want anyone to know about it, okay, and we're hiding it. That's not healthy. On the other hand, if we're engaging with this material and we're shouting it from the rooftops, well, that also fosters a salacious kind of pride, which is just as unbecoming, just on the other end of the spectrum. Purity is a virtue. We're called to cultivate and care for ourselves. And boy, we live in a world that loves the idea of self care. We love the idea of strong mental health, and yet we constantly make excuses for engaging in material that is harmful to ourselves, harmful to our own expectations, harmful to the relationships that are most important to us. This kind of material fosters the discontentment. Never have I heard of a woman reading books like this and saying, gosh, that really made me appreciate my husband. Or, wow, I really came away grateful for what a great marriage I have. It doesn't do that. So let's be honest with ourselves. Let's be honest with each other and go, how do we feed the things in ourselves that will edify, that will help us mature and grow rather than tear us down? Um, I also want to caution us the example that we set for our children. If you have kids in the home, or if you have adolescents in your home, adolescent girls are picking these books up by the truckload. It's not helping them develop a healthy sense of self, a healthy understanding of what relationships require and what a healthy relationship looks like. So let's be careful about what we allow ourselves to engage with. Um, let's not pretend that what we do behind closed doors doesn't impact anybody else or doesn't impact our own spirits. And I hope we can be critical of what we put in front of our eyes. All right. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.